Thumbprint's business was a traditional print distributor. We were founded 30 years ago. Just like a lot of print distributors, found its way into the branded merchandise world. And as we were scaling and growing, the challenge was we really wanted to build a structure of dedicated teams to support enterprise business. That just got very costly. So we were supporting clients that were $20 billion and we were $20 million. And it was really hard to build the structure and support system, right, that we felt was necessary to provide, really white glove service. We weren't able to match the same service level agreements with a smaller staff team. And we just found that the only way to really support, if we wanted to be who we thought we wanted to be when we grow up and really support enterprise accounts, we knew we had to be able to scale with people, technology, obviously, and processes, but also additional layers of people where we could get very intentional about what lane they were in. Rebranded to Thumbprint from Performance Business Solutions. And when we rebranded to Thumbprint, what happened was we had landed a large RFP, about a $4 million RFP with a client called Advent Health. We showed up for this RFP presentation and we showed up with a MacBook. So Todd, my old COO, we created a logo and we just started calling ourselves Two Dudes in a MacBook. And that's when we realized what these big companies need is technology, process control, brand control, reporting. And then it was our job, like, okay, technology was the big investment. And then the next piece was we realized technology is one component. We need additional layers of people that can really understand, have a very unique role, and they know what their lane is, and they can get hyper focused on being great in that part of the job, part of the business.
We knew at that time that we needed to keep our people, give them cushion and time, because the personable connection to our clients is the most important part of our business. And when we get spread too thin, we can't stay super personal. And we're stacking clients after client after client and growing pretty quickly. And so the DCX people came in and not only were able to help thin out people's times, but they were also remaining personable as well, because some of those workers were client facing. And I would say the most important part is like those DCXers, both if they are client facing or internal facing, they allow us to give a better experience for our customer. To Brian's point is like, it's all about our account management team, and those DCXers are playing a big role in that. And so that's where it kind of boiled down to. And since then we've started adapting the new teams as we started to actually become we're doubled in employee size. So we're able to create true departments dedicated for specific use cases and really dev out those teams.
They are supporting our operations team. They're in our accounting team. They're in our sales team. We have one that is an executive assistant to myself and Gabe, who's our president. We have them on the creative team. They really do live in every department or support every role or function in our business to some capacity. This is all about us learning over the years of learning that these team members are capable of so much more than, like, we don't give them credit for complexity. We think everything has to be repeatable tasks. And we sometimes forget that these team members are capable of solving complex issues. And that's like our own prejudice or our own knowledge gap that holds, a lot of times has held us back as a company, is we're not giving them things. We hold the complex stuff for ourselves and the leaders of the company, when we really would be so much better off if we could offload that and that trust was there. And I think that's what we've gotten better at as a company in the last couple of years, but there's always room to grow there.
We've hired plenty of freelancers as well prior to DCX. And sometimes you hit gold, and even if you hit gold, there's so much more learning that they have to do because they're coming from left field. They might have experience in working as a designer or whatever, or on the tech side, but they don't know our industry. They don't know what they're really coming into. And that's if you hit gold. And so then you have to then train them on all of that work, which takes them, if it takes a stateside employee 6 months, it takes them twice as long to really kind of figure it out what you're trying to do. Or you have to put in 2 times the amount of work to get them onboarded faster. But if you don't hit gold, then you're just constantly living in frustration, and you're back to then spending time trying to figure out, do I need to keep putting time into this person? Do I need to go find somebody else? And from what I've seen is people from DCX come in with the expectation of what they're about to get into, and they've also been vetted, and so that's saving the business time and headache, and really saving them money down the road. To have that with DCX, they're 9 to 5, they're on your team, they're as much on your team as the person sitting next to you. That has been a beautiful side from the hiring side and I think that the hardest part for us internally was the adaptation to our people that aren't used to working for people overseas. And I have seen since the merger, our teams really excel in bringing newer DCX hires on board, and really, honestly, there's so many people all over the United States on our team that I can't tell who's stateside and who's overseas right now. My team operates a little different from the business since we're more marketing and creative, but we're all in a Slack channel. And like today, I was talking to Ron, or talking to the team. I was like, "Hey, I know I'm a day late, but how's everybody's weekend?" And Ron was like, "I was at the beach." I was like, "Send me some pictures." And like, so we talk to each other as if we're hanging out with each other, right? Just through Slack. We will jump on huddles, and that gets into more like sub teams. So my team will jump on a weekly huddle, talk to each other, build rapport, ask each other, "Hey, where can I help you? How can you help me?" And they have great camaraderie and like exchanging projects that way. Sometimes something's out of somebody's element, and they can help each other or take it off their hands for them. Other times, people are just over capacity and they're just looking out for each other. They're phenomenal at that, and I love that. I love that aspect of them. But everything for us comes through intake from the sales team, and it goes into a project management board, and then they pick up tasks as those projects come in based off their capacity and their specific job role. But that's all design related stuff. So it's like custom design, mock-ups, production file edits, website thumbnails, those kind of things. The beautiful thing is, and I think this is a cultural thing, is they'll never tell you when they're like really struggling with the issue. They'll try and resolve it themselves. And I think that's great. I love the resourcefulness.
I think there's a difference between outsourcing an employee and building a community, and like what you guys have is an actual community. And I think that's, we're very lucky. If I talk to Neville, my EA, who I'm talking to all day long, she feels like she works for two amazing companies. And how cool is that, right? Like she has two different communities of two different types of people that value her and appreciate her for sometimes different reasons. They're a really great group of people and human beings. And I think we're very fortunate to have them. And I think, well, obviously, while we're hiring them to help us scale and grow a business and to become more profitable, there's something so rewarding. If we can do it while also making an impact and changing lives at the same time, like that's what makes it worth it. You know what I mean? Like this is, and that's the story we want to tell. When I went there 2 years ago, it was such an eye-opening experience. I was like, man, every one of them has more, they're highly educated. They've got more schooling and education than I do. They speak more languages than I do. I'm looking at the environments in which they work, and which then reminds me of the loyalty and the drive and the motivation, right? For them to get up every day. They don't have the same luxuries we have and the same comfortable work areas. And it's like, it was so eye-opening. We're not hurting American jobs by hiring these team members. Like at the end of the day, I don't think, yes, we're headquartered in the US, but I think what we're doing, like we're providing jobs to people all over the world. And I think that that's a really good thing. And I don't think that's something we should be ashamed of or shy away from telling that story. Like we're opening doors. We're not closing doors to people down the street. We're opening doors to people around the world who need this, or those parts of the world are never going to have opportunity.
And to Brian's point again, is our mission is better our customers, better our company, better the world. And that is in every aspect. It's our customer impact globally with all their employees or their audience, our vendors, partnering globally with them, and our community internally with our employees. And that's really the emotional pull. And what Brian was saying is like the growth that we're able to provide the DCX team, if you can set it up and find the right people for the right jobs, helps them grow, but it helps our people that we have to have over here grow even more. And it's a shared growth for everyone. And that's a great thing for the world.